What's going on, guys? Welcome back to some Xenoverse 2. Before I get into the video itself, there are going to be two links in the description, one leading to a trailer for Hero Colosseum, and the other one is basically gameplay on Hero Colosseum. So let's get into this video. So Hero Colosseum, it seems interesting from what I've seen, and I say that because it has its own separate story, and so it's basically a game inside of a game. It's like a whole nother game, I feel like, because it's a board game-esque game with it's pretty turn-based from what I've seen, and I'll get into that a bit later. But seeing how it has its own separate story and that it's a board game type of game inside of Xenoverse, which is pretty cool. And there are going to be different characters, like different rarities, something like Dokkan Battles, if you guys are familiar with that, which is pretty cool. And seeing how there are different characters, there are two different ways, to my knowledge, to get these different characters, which are, one, you can play through the separate story it has, which is really nice. It gives people a reason to play the story. And the other one, sadly, is TP medals, which sucks no matter what, but it's in the game for a reason, I guess. That's the way to put it. But moving on, the more you level up your character pieces, the more abilities they unlock, so you can sort of customize them to your liking, which I really like. That's something really smart and interesting to do. But moving forward, every time you beat a level per se, you gain XP and you can take that XP and spend it on your character that you want to upgrade. So it's basically you put in experience into your character to level them up. That's as simple as it comes. And like I said before, it is turn-based. And they did something really cool with the turn-based stuff, which is that depending on the speed of your team, depends on who goes first, and there's like a multiplier that goes from 100% to 300%, 300 obviously being the highest and 100 being the lowest, which is really nice. So, and it's like a bar thing which ticks down, so you need to press X or something to get whichever speed multiplier you want, and it's randomized from what I've seen. Sorry for any background noise for the record, but seeing how every time it's your turn you have a ultimate passive that charges up every time it's your turn, and it's varied depending on the percentage, but when you hit 100% of your ultimate, you do a little special ultimate that hits everyone on the board, which is quite nice. And seeing how everything is going on with the board game, you sort of have to plan out how you want to have your characters placed, which is pretty cool. And seeing how when you are attacking either someone's piece or them directly, there is a chance to do extra damage, which you could do through a QTE, basically a quick time event. So after you attack, you can't just like drop your controller and just be like, ah, my attack's over. You sort of have to keep your eye on what's going on, which I like. It sort of adds that another dynamic to the Hero Colosseum. But there are two ways to win in Hero Colosseum. One is to obviously reduce the enemy's team or beat all their pieces and make sure they have 0 pieces, so you win automatically when their pieces are reduced to 0. And the other way is to attack them directly, which is quite nice. It has something like a Yu-Gi-Oh-esque thing. both of you guys have life points. If you get hit directly, you get your health bar drops a bit, which is something just like Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's pretty nice. But another interesting thing with your characters is that you can place them on one of 6 spots on the board, either top right, bottom right, mid front, mid back, left top, left right, what? Left top, I should say, left top, then left bottom. And depending on how your character is, they either, if you put them on a certain block of the board, they get this extra boost, which is quite interesting. So you sort of have to plan out where you want your team to be placed, and you could only have 3 people on the board at one time. So if you have a full team that can only be placed, that only gets the buff, I should say, in the top right corner, probably not the best team, just because you want to optimize those power spots. So it really does change up your team quite a bit, if you really think about it. And I think higher level pieces, or like higher rarity pieces, have a passive of themselves. Like I think that Whis has a passive where your team takes less damage for like 1 turn, which is quite nice. So you could sort of play with the passives, see what team works best for you, and it's sort of like you could customize your own team however you like. But we all know once one OP team comes out, everyone's gonna be on that, but it's all good. And the characters range from like just the Dragon Ball Z characters up till like the Goku Black Saga, I think, which is quite nice. So there's a lot of pieces that you could find, a lot of abilities. I see a lot of potential in Hero Colosseum, to be honest. But I will be making further videos like once it comes out, so if you guys do want to see that, please stay tuned on my channel. But other than that, I'm really excited for DLC 5 and Hero Colosseum at this point. But other than that, guys, that is going to be the video. So hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Later.